Morning, fourth grade. Today we're going to have a math lesson on our assignment for today. So we're looking at lesson 11.4 in your Go Math book, which is on page 621. The focus for today's lesson is joining and separating angles. So what we're really looking at are parts of a whole. We're just going to do some examples up here on the board. They're not necessarily coming right from your book, but it's following what the book is asking you to do. So right now, I have an angle up here on the board. I have angle A, B, C, and I'm going to outline it in blue. This angle, ABC, really represents your whole. Now, what the lesson wants us to do is figure out what these smaller angles measure. And all of those smaller angles should equal, when they are added up, the total that we find for ABC. So, right now, I want to measure my whole angle. So, everyone should have a protractor. If you don't know how to use one, we're going to talk about it today. So, here's mine. Everybody's protractor should have a hole right down here at the center. Now what you want to do is I want to look at my vertex. So my vertex is at point B. So I want to align this hole right where my vertex is. And I want my ray BC to be lined up with 0 degrees on my protractor. So if I look, I have my hole lined up. My ray BC is lined up with my 0 degree on my protractor. Now I want to look where my ray BA falls on my protractor. And it actually falls at 90 degrees. So the measure of ABC is 90 degrees. So all of these smaller angles, when I add them up, they have to equal 90 degrees because that's the big picture. That's our big angle here. So whatever we're adding together should equal 90 degrees. So I'm going to outline in green. Now we're going to look for the angle ABD. And I'm going to write that one in green. So the measure of angle ABD. Now, again, I'm going to have my protractor. I'm putting my hole at the bottom. I'm lining that up with my vertex, which is still B. And I'm lining up my ray BD with my 0 line. Okay. Then I'm going to look over here right at my protractor and I'm going to see how far over it goes. So the measure of ABD is about 25 degrees. So here I'm going to have my 25 degrees. Then I have to go to my next angle. Now I'm going to look for the measure of angle DBE. DBE. So again, the hole on my protractor is getting lined up with the vertex at B. I'm lining up the ray BE with 0 on my protractor. And then I'm going to look over and see where my ray BD lines up. So the measure of angle DBE is about 15 degrees. Now I have one final angle to look at. Now I want to find EBC. So I'm going to have E, B, C. Again, lining up my hole at vertex B. Then I'm lining up ray BC at 0. Then I want to look at how far over where ray BE is lining up. It's looking at about 50 degrees. So, if we did everything right, all three of these angles that are part of A, B, C will equal the total of 90 degrees. So we can do 25 plus 15 first, right? So I have 5 plus 5 is 10, 2 plus 1 is 3, and then I have my 1. So 40 degrees so far. So 40 degrees plus 50 degrees should equal 90. 4 plus 5 is 9. Then I have my 2 zeros, 90 degrees. 90 degrees. So again, looking at parts that make up a whole. Now, another part of your lesson today has you look at circles and the different parts in a circle. So, my circle's not going to be fantastic, but we're going to get one up here. It's not bad. We're going to have my point in what I believe to be the center. Try to fix this a little bit. Okay. Now, I'm going to divide my circle into 3 sections. I'm going to go like this, and then I'm going to go like that. Okay. Now, the key, what you need to know, a circle always has 360 degrees. That's my whole, always, for a circle. So I know that the measure of these 3 angles has to total, when added together, 360 degrees. So, first one we're going to look at ACD. Measure of angle ACD. So again, I'm going to kind of show this one in blue. So my vertex is really C because that's my center point. And what you can see is I'm lining up that hole against the vertex. And then I'm lining up ray AC. But notice it goes the whole way. That's because ACD is really a straight line. And a straight line is 180 degrees always. In chapter 10, we talked about straight angles, how a straight line is always 180 degrees. It's the same idea here. This is one straight line. So it's really taking up half of my circle, 180 degrees. So now I want to look for A, C, B. So again, I want to line up the hole at the vertex of C. I'm going to line up CB with my 0 on my protractor, and then I'm going to look all the way around to see where AC falls. And it looks like it is about 150 degrees. So far, I have 180 degrees down here. I have 150 degrees here. And I still have one more to do. I now need to find B, C, D. Hole at vertex C. I'm lining up CD with 0. And then I'm going over and I'm seeing where CB falls. And it's at 30 degrees. So, when I total them up, they have to equal 360 degrees. So let's see. We have 180 plus 150. So 0 and 0, 0. 8 plus 5 is 13. 1 plus 1 plus my extra 1 is 3. So I'm at 330. Then I still have my 30-degree angle. So 330 plus 30. 0 and 0 is 0. 3 and 3 is 6. 3 plus nothing is 3. 360 degrees. So I know that my measurements here are correct. Now, in lesson 11.4, it's really asking you to find those smaller parts. So it looks like they're giving you the measurements of some of your angles, and you either have to figure out your whole or your parts. Biggest thing is getting comfortable with your protractor. So again, you always want to line up your vertex at the hole at the bottom. And if you notice that hole, like where this line goes, that's your 0. So you should be able to see that ray lined up here going to the 0. And then you're looking across to see where your other line goes up through. If you get comfortable with your protractor, you shouldn't have any problems. But if for some reason you are having an issue, be sure to message me on Teams. All right. Hopefully that helps you guys. Tomorrow we're going to have another mini lesson on your math assignment. It'll probably get posted around 11, so stay tuned for that. Hopefully this helps.